World record in one piece. The longest rotor blade in the world, and it's built by Siemens. 75 meters in size. The world's largest component made of fiberglass. No seams and no splices. In the Danish Østerild, the prototype for the latest 6 megawatt turbine and the world record rotor blade is now being tested. The transport of the world record rotor blades, an unprecedented challenge. The blades are transported by truck to Østerild.
So the biggest challenge has been in the handling and transportation of the blade. And there a few years back we would have said, oh, forget all about shipping around structures that are 75 meters long. You cannot do that on the roads. You have to do it by ship. But as it turns out, you can actually do that.
Here, 25 tons meander along the Danish country roads. A real eye-opener for the public.
It's clear that it's a very big structure to haul around on the road, to handle with cranes and so on. 75 meters, that's long. And when you drive it on the road with a truck in front and some lamps at the rear, you are getting close to a 100-meter long piece that is hauled around on the road. So of course you cannot go where the road is very curved. That doesn't work.
It's extremely exciting to be a part of this process. It is amazing to see the product coming all the way from the computer screen, where you don't necessarily realize how big it is until the day you have the mold standing here in the production and suddenly you see, wow, this is big.
The tower sections in the nacelle come by ship to Hanstholm. And then they are transported by truck to Østerild. Arriving at the destination, the giant components are assembled with kid gloves. This is the dry run. The longest rotor blade and the gearless 6 megawatt turbine will be used at offshore wind farms in the future.
We think we have the new workhorse when it comes to offshore wind. We think that just like our present day 3.6 megawatt with a B58 blade is today's bestseller. It is the machine that goes offshore. Then in a few years, the 6 megawatt with the B75 blade will be the bestseller in the offshore market.
The traditional method of production would mean that the B75 quantum rotor blade would be 10 to 20% heavier. The low weight relieves the nacelles, towers and foundations of the wind turbines. The special blade profile also ensures optimal performance at a variety of wind speeds. All the experience of the last decades has been placed into this rotor blade.
The way it is that the bigger the rotor, the more energy you capture. Of course, also the bigger the rotor, the bigger are the loads on the structure. And the loads need hefty structure, so you need to have big, expensive equipment. So therefore, it's always a balance. Bigger rotor, more energy. Bigger rotor, more loads, more cost. So it's a matter of finding the balance between how big is the rotor.
It is tremendous forces that a structure like this has to withstand. At the root where the blade is mounted to the rest of the turbine, the loads and moments correspond to if you had a fishing rod of 100 meters and you had 30 medium-sized family cars at the end of that. Those are the loads that we have to make sure that this blade can withstand.
The Siemens patented integral blade process makes the highly robust nature with low weight possible.
The process of building such a blade is that all the glass, the many layers of glass need to be placed in the mold. And once that is done, the mold is closed. The mold is airtight and we evacuate air to create a vacuum inside the mold. Once that vacuum is established, we let in the resin, which is the glue that bonds together all the fibers. And when that resin has been let in, we cure the blade, kind of like baking a bread. And when the blade is ready, it is taken out of the mold, and then we do the finishing work, and it's ready to go on a turbine.
The rotor blade can deploy its potential, but only thanks to the 6 megawatt turbine. Østerild explains.
One of the reasons for the high reliability and robustness of the 6 megawatt is that we built into this design all the learning right from the first offshore wind farm we built back in 1991. And those 20 years of experience from all the next projects, all the next turbines, from all these hundreds of thousands of operating hours that have been clocked, they all live inside the 6 megawatt now.
There is even a helicopter platform on the roof of the nacelle. Access by the service technicians to the 6 megawatt machine is just as easy as with the previous model.
We have the new system of the interactive maintenance system using an iPad, where our service people can have a much more direct connection to people back home, and where they can have a full direct online access to all information about the machine.
And now it's getting serious for the turbine and rotor blade. In the coming months, they will be thoroughly tested. The world record rotor blade, an important step for the future of energy.